Stage 13 of Boss Rush on deck here today as we break it all down with S Harpoon Captain MK2. It's going to be yours for sure. With that, thank you for tuning in. As always, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Questions, comments along the way, let me know because I love to hear it. Additionally, feel free to join us in our amazing community and Discord server. Maybe you want to compare your times. All right, with that, my friends, we are all about hard mode right here, Stage 13 today, Boss Rush. Couple things. Make sure, as always, you're upgrading your suppression spears, taking advantage of that supply chest and everything else available to you. Now, the first rule of Boss Rush, as we like to say, is make sure that you check out the boss information. This is the biggest key takeaway. Now, that can be help you understand what synergies to use for your teams. Obviously, we're going to break that all down, and pay attention here because we got the boss receives increased poison type damage, and then we also have the boss summons a poisonous cloud that deals periodic damage and receives increased light type. The big thing here is making sure that you're getting enough poison damage output. Here, the big one is making sure that you do not get wiped. Yes, this guy can wipe you depending on your team. We're going to talk about some of the key aspects on that to make sure that that does not happen. Okay, so typically it's going to probably be about 2 tickets at least if you can get through each one on a phase. That's going to get you there. Otherwise, it's probably going to be 3. We'll be right on 3, I think. So let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit more. So once again, and if you need to, you can always go into practice mode. Receives poison type. If we go ahead, we go into edit. First things that we need to do is we need to find our poison team. So as you saw, I think that was the main one that we had set up. Yep. All right. So at 8, this is the one that we're going to break down and talk about here. Biggest thing is making sure you have this in here. Team's going to deal poison type damage. The big thing on this, as you can see with this particular team, is the ability to get more poison type damage in this setup is going to allow you, allow you to get more stacks and probably just slightly a bit closer to knocking this thing down. And if you're curious on those skill elements and you want to do some swaps, you can look at the poison type right here. Kind of think about what you may want to swap in. Maybe we want to go here and swap out Sea Fairy as an example. All right, so we can go ahead and do that. It's going to keep the team components in there from that perspective. So make sure then you go to your gear and then you're going to go right here. You do need to make some changes. You saw me break this one down actually in the last episode. So we're going to add this here. We'll flip it back. All right, as one example. There you go. And then additionally, we need to go find a nice one like that. HP cooldown. Let's go ahead with this because we got the nice one right there. We could grab Sea Fairies if we wanted to. Always better tweaking. Makes a huge difference. There's a good one there as well. We could flip over actually there instead to Affogato. Why don't we do that? Because Affogato's better built. Let's go skill elements back to poison. Let's go grab Affogato. We'll grab Affogato, drop Affogato there. There you go. A little bit easier. And then again, instead of that one, we could actually load it with this one as an example. All right, there you go. And so now we're a little bit more stacked towards that poison. Let's go ahead back to our gear here. Let's find Affogato. We're going to flip there, select, and then we need to go here. We're going to grab this. We'll grab that, equip. All right, so that's there. And then we need to go back and grab, there we go. All right, so now we got everything built. A couple swaps here to just kind of hone in just slightly more. Again, we do need to update this one as well because I did steal it. I thought about flipping this one out, but we're not going to do that. Let's go here and grab that topping tart. Who do we want to grab right now? Why don't we grab this one for now? All right, equip. All right, there we go. All right, so we're all set. So what we did is made a couple tweaks to be a little bit more poison oriented on this one in particular. That should ideally help us get more damage in because those poison stacks is going to be super crucial for this. Once again, if you are curious on which one's going to do a higher output because everything does convert to poison, make sure that you run it on practice mode first. Okay, that's going to be the big key difference for you. Doing those things makes a big adjustment. Fast change helps you kind of tweak your stuff and get you to where you need to be. All right, so as you saw in that gear, a couple things here. We're going to stick to each of these pieces here. As you can see, ideally what you do want to be is more attack oriented or cooldown oriented, depending on how you're sitting with that particular team. Okay, big ones, making sure you have at least the Shadow of Venom, and then play around with what you want to have within there outside of some of these other pieces. for your particular team. Getting advantage of those bombers, again, can make a bigger poison push for you in this one in particular. All right, let's go for it. We're going to run in, and don't forget, you can always get to 36 or something else there, which can make a big difference for your team as well. All right, let's go for it, my friends. Excited to hit this thing pretty hard with a lot of poison damage. Now, again, main key reason here is, as you can see in the upper right, we're trying to get as many of these stacks on as possible. That's going to help you drain this thing much faster, because it just builds. And here we go. It's gonna be so close. Oh, not quite. Now, again, if you're curious, you could run the original team instead, which would help you kind of get by it, I'll say, as depending on your teams, a little bit faster. Now, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna close this thing down really quickly. We're gonna transition here, and then we're not going to get as much because we need that light type damage in there so you can exit. And what that's going to do is it's going to curtail your time, and you're going to use a ticket, sadly. However, what you're going to do is go back in, and then we're going to switch to our next team, which is going to be our light team right here. All right, so a couple things on this one, because this stuff can get wiped really fast when that poison is on you. All right, a couple things here. We do have the Frost Queen rally effect in here. You can change some of these things out if you'd like to. Instead, it does work fine. The big one here is getting that light type damage in, and then everything's going to deal light type damage. And then again, allied cookies resistance to interrupting effects. Big thing that I found on this one is I did try PV. If you swap PV in, it's not going to be strong enough to keep things alive. I had to keep Mystic Flower here. The big one here for me is really Linzer. Linzer can get wiped. So making sure that your Linzer has high HP, defense, those kinds of things will make a difference, potentially on get through all the way on your first push, because we got some damage as a crossover. And again, you could have kept running that if you wanted to. When we pop Linzer in here, we should be able to actually get through this on a full ticket just because of that difference. This thing was like 1% left when I tried it on the practice side. So a couple things here though to pay attention to. Let's go ahead and take a look at the gear. We're on Solid Almond. Here we're on cooldown. Here we're on attack. Here we're on lots of attack. Again, a lot of attack here. Linzer, like I said, what you may want to do is just increase some of this defense. Instead, this is still pretty high. However, still not enough to stay alive. And then we got cooldown. We want to keep high level cooldown on Mystic Flower there. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to run with this one now. Take this thing down and go and close out today's video. So that poison cloud just hurts so bad. Here you can see the big damage dealing from this thing. You gotta stay on top of it. Oh, we lost another one. This is where it gets crazy, my friends. If you can keep everything alive, you're able to get through. Oh, we were so close. We were so close. Again, there is a little bit of RNG when it comes to that. The first time I ran, we didn't lose all of our stuff. And we're able to take it down. That's the fun thing about this, my friends, as always. All right, there we go. Victory with the captain right there. Ooh, what a battle, my friends. What a battle. Fun one nonetheless. And with that, we have taken down stage 13 here for you today in Boss Rush, my friends. If you still got a question, if you got a comment, certainly let me know. I love to hear from you as always, and we'd love to see you in our amazing community and Discord server. And on top of that, my friends, thank you for tuning in today. I truly appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow such an amazing community here all the time. Thank you to our members. I really appreciate that support. Additionally, our swag and merch store is available to you, our affiliate links and other socials to stay in touch. With that, we'll see you again soon. We got a lot more Boss Rush headed your way and a ton more content all the time. With that, until next time, keep on running.